Hi everybody. So I've got a lot of new patrons this week. I don't know why, but for some reason a lot of people seem to have joined. So welcome to all the new people, and thank you so much for supporting me. As I say, it really helps me continue to do what I do. And I'd like to teach you one of my tunes now. So a lot of the time I'll have ideas that I'm constantly playing with, and I'll record, and then maybe I'll record a few days later and those ideas will have changed. But this is one that's beginning to sort of stick, which is why it's a good one. I'm going to tab it out for you in the next week or so, but it's a good one to teach because it's fairly fixed. So where it isn't, I'll give you the idea of how I might play with the ideas. So it's called Your Home is in My Heart, and you can kind of, it doesn't have words, but you can picture your home is in my heart and always will be there. You can kind of imagine how the words would go. Maybe somebody will make some words for it one day. Now, first thing is the tuning. Now it's basically open G. Now if you go to my recording of it on YouTube, you'll find that I'm tuned to 432 Hertz, which is what's called the healing frequency, and a lot of people think that that's a much better way to tune the guitar or to tune instruments, and I'm not going to go into that for now, but that's how I'm tuned, and it does feel nice on the guitar. But I've tuned to 440 for this to make it a little bit more easy for you, so you don't have to recalibrate your tuner and everything. So it's open G, but I've lowered the thickest string, and this is only the 6th string. I've lowered the thickest string down to C. So you've got C right down there, C, G, D, G, B, D. So I'm going to do that a bit slower just so you can make sure you're in tune. So you've got C and G and D, G as normal, B as normal, and down to D here. Yeah. Also, if you look back a few posts, you'll find that I have a kind of guide to alternative tunings that I use. I don't actually mention this one, but it's basically open G with the bottom string down to C. Okay, so now the first thing is the basic chordal idea that I started with is this thing where I'm using my last 2 fingers on my left hand and I'm playing the 7th fret on the D and the G string, the middle 2 strings. Yeah? Yeah? Not playing the thickest C, but all of those other strings apart from the thick string will work there. And then going down 2 frets, same shape, moving it down. You don't have to know what these shapes are necessarily. I'm starting to think about what they are. So G add 9, isn't it? And then moving down to here, you've got a kind of sus4 by the sound of it, like sus, kind of G, sus kind of sound. All right, and then this is quite a common little shape. You've got the 4th fret on the D string and the 3rd fret on the B string, and then you've got the open G with the, obviously this is a G in the bass, you've got G, F sharp, G, D, yeah, and then that moves down to what would be an A minor 7 shape, just the 1st fret on the B and the 2nd fret on the D, but I've got, obviously this is, A string is now an open G. So really, if you're thinking of shapes, it's just 2 of these parallel shapes and 2 of these 4th fret, 3rd fret on the D string and B string, and then moving that shape down. So those are the basic shapes that are used, and then there's a kind of reprise where I use this thickest E string, and I'm sticking with, having the 2nd fret on the D string and the 1st fret on the B string. And then as I go up, I'm going to go the 2nd fret on the C string, which is going to give you a D. And obviously when your string is that low, it can go out of tune. So you've got to be very careful not to press too hard and not to bend it. A and you're also going to play the D on the B string, which is the 3rd fret. So, yeah, so that's another little shape that I use. So, underlying the whole thing is this. Just an open G, that's a G chord, but I'm just using the open strings, middle 4 strings. Now then, we have this melody. So, we start with that first shape I was telling you about, and we've got the 5th fret on the thinnest string. So that's the melody, da, 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 and to open. Now as we move the shape down, we're going to actually go to the 2nd fret. But what I do is a slightly unusual technique. I slide in from a fret above. Pat Metheny does this a lot. Sliding down into the fret. It's kind of counterintuitive. You don't hear that as much. It's not an obvious thing to do. So, altogether. Yeah? Now, from there, so we're doing that little shape backwards now, the A minor 7 shape, and then up 2 frets. So that's the 1st fret on the B, 2nd fret on the D, and moving it up 2 frets. So this is the main phrase, the first phrase. Just sliding that one. Yeah. Now we do it again, but instead of going down, I go up this time, and I slide on the G string on the 7th fret up to the 9th, and I also on the thinnest D string go from the 5th to the 7th. Yeah, so I'm sliding those two, yeah, so together. Yeah. It's like a G and a D. So it's like you can hear that sort of sliding forth. Yeah. Now I'm putting a bass string, or I'm playing the 7th fret on the D string, and the melody. Da, 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 10, 9, 7, 5. Now, throughout the tune, I do various little moving bass lines with it. But basically, it's this. Yeah. And then again, that thing, except this time I'm going to use the C in the bass, then the D in the bass. So I've got the A minor 7 shape, as in 1st fret on the B string, 2nd fret on the D string, thick C, droning underneath, changing the thick C to the D, 2nd fret, and the 3rd fret on the B, and back to the open G. Yeah? So, so it's like the same phrase, but it's an answering phrase. So the 2nd phrase, yeah, I play with this. I think in my live version, you'll hear me do lots of little versions of that, and that is the problem with trying to learn my tunes. I can never remember how to play them. I play them differently every time. Okay, 3rd phrase. I'm starting with that same shape, but the first note, instead of being the 5th fret, the melody note is now on the 9th fret. A little bit of a stretch. So I'm playing still these 2 parallel notes on the 7th fret, so the middle 2 strings, but I'm playing on the 9th fret up here. Yeah? So 9th fret to the 5th fret. Yeah? So I've got my first finger. And then actually no. What I do is actually what I do is I go from the 9th fret to the 5th fret, and then I take this shape, which is you've got the 10th fret on the B string, the 9th fret on the G, and the 10th fret on the D string. So, and I'm still playing that G in the bass. So it's something I would use as an A minor shape, but again, I've got the G in the bass. So yeah, so I'm taking the melody there on the B string, 10th fret down to the 8th fret, and then just a sort of D minor thing, as in F and D, so 6th fret on the B string, 7th fret on the D string. So we're taking it to a kind of minor because we've had a major shape, so it's like it's a little change there in the tonality, which I think is really nice. Yeah, so just taking that down. So. And then just ending up with the 3rd fret on the B string, giving you this D string. So that's the whole first part. So let's putting all that together. Now I do a lot of hammers and slides and things there, but that's basically the 3rd phrase. Yeah, and now I'm going to play the 1st phrase again. Sorry. And I'm using that 2nd cadence there, which is a C. It's D, isn't it? Because you're on the 2nd fret of the C string, giving you a D, and a D on the B string. Yeah? Okay. Hope that all makes sense. Now we've got this little kind of interlude in the middle where I play the 4th fret on the C string, which is giving you an E. I think I do it like this. So what I'm doing there is I'm playing the 4th fret on the C string, and I'm so that's the 7th fret on the B string, 8th fret on the B string, and then the open bottom string, which is now D. I use this cadence, and I'll do it again. And instead of this cadence, I'm using here right on the 6th fret on the what is now the C string, which gives you an F sharp along with the other F sharp, which is on the B string, and that tension is released onto the open G, and then here G and D on, as in the 8th fret on the B string, 7th fret on the D string. Yeah, so all together. And I think I just do it I do it the 2nd time, that kind of more involved cadence. So it's 1st time. Something like that. There. So this is kind of just the underlying skeleton of the tune. What I'll do is I'll tab it out for you as we've played it today, and I'll give a version of me playing exactly what's on the tab, so it's not confusing as it is probably trying to follow what I'm doing on YouTube, because I've just sat down and watched it and it is pretty confusing. All right, so I hope that helps, and I will see you very soon. Thank you again for all your support, and good luck with Your Home Is In My Heart. Bye now.